Hello everyone. In this lecture, we will be learning to create a responsive website with header and menu items using the concepts that we have learned so far. Okay, first let's take a look at how the output should look like. This is the output page. We have a header with title to subtractions, and below that we have menu items. And the last menu item has submenu on hovering. Below the menu items, on the left hand side, we have options. We have some menu, and when we hover over the menu items, the options are getting highlighted. And on the right side, we have some contents and an image. Below that, we have a footer at the bottom part. This website that we are going to make is responsive. So let's use developer tools. So I'm going to select a mobile device here. See, the website is responsive. The contents, images and everything is adjusted to the mobile width. So let me change it to a iPad. Now also the contents are fitting exactly according to the device selected. So now let's look through the code for creating this website in Sublime Text. In line number 6, we have meta tag with viewport. This line is for creating responsive website that adapts to different screen widths. And then line number 13, we have website header with title given in H1 tag. And in line number 17, we have an unordered list. It is for creating menu. This unordered list is for creating a menu with drop down. We have already learned how to create menu items with drop down submenus, right? So I'm skipping this part and going to line number 35. If you have any questions in any of the topics that we have already learned, email your questions. I'll be happy to help you. My email ID is available in the course description. Line number 35, this is the main container block. So inside this main container, we have two div blocks. This is the first one and this is the second div block. And the main container div is closing here. So both the div blocks, this is the first one and this is the second one. Both the div blocks have a common class name called column. So let's go to CSS to see how this column class selector is styled. I'm in line number 122. So here we have the CSS rule for column class selector. For this column class selector, it is floated to left. We have used float left property. We have used float left here because we want the side menu and content div block to float on the left, one after another, right? Here in the output, we have this side menu and then the side menu on the leftmost side, and then on back of it we have the content div block. Because of this float left property, we have the side menu block and content block side by side. Okay, let's go to developer tools and I'm highlighting. So this is the container and inside the container we have two div blocks. This is side menu and this is content div. And both these div blocks have common class column. So looking for column in CSS, here is the column CSS. So I am unchecking this float left. Now we see side menu div is on the top and this content div is below that. This is because we have unchecked this float property and each div occupies the entire line space, right? Now going back to Sublime Text Editor. In HTML file, I am in line number 36. In line number 36, see this div has two classes assigned to it. One is common class column. So just now we looked at column class. Next is side menu class. And similarly, the second div block also has two classes, column, common class and then content. Okay, now going to CSS, we look at side menu class. So I am in line number 129. For side menu class, width of 25% is assigned. Why is that needed? So let's go to developer tools and let me check the float property. Now I am looking for the side menu class here. Okay, this is the side menu class and it is styled here. Width is given as 25%. What if I uncheck this width 25%? What happens? See, now the default width of that block is limited to the content size, right? Because we are using floating property for this div is not covering the entire line width. The width is limited to the content size, and if we want to increase the width, then we have to explicitly specify. Here we have given width as 25%. Now it's looking better. So this side menu is given width of 25% and remaining 75% width is assigned to the content class in the second div block. So where is this is the content class. Here we have remaining width of 75% assigned, right? Okay. Do you remember box sizing property we saw in our previous lectures? Here in this project we have used box sizing property so that the total width is always maintained as the given value irrespective of paddings and border values. So exactly 25% is given for side menu and 75% of total width is given for the content div block, and the padding and border values are adjusted because we have used box sizing border box property, and it is assigned in the Sublime Text CSS. It is given in the first line using universal selector. Now going back to HTML code, in line number 37 inside this side menu div block we have unordered list with hyperlinks, right? That is for the side menu items, for creating the side menu items, and you can also look at the CSS part to see how these items are styled. And next is the content block. Here is the content block div. So this content block has some standard HTML elements which you must be comfortable with. It has some headings, some paragraph, image. So everything is styled in CSS as well. So you can just look through it. It's just standard. Nothing specific to explain. So next we go to this footer part. Here in line number 67, we have used div element and created the footer. Instead of this div tag, we can also use footer tag. You know the difference between div and footer, right? It's almost same. It's just the naming convention. So footer means whoever reads the code will be able to understand that this is a footer part of the website. Other than that, both are block elements. So we can use either div or footer. Anything is fine. So going to CSS styles for the footer class, in line number 23, we have this footer class selector. Here for this footer class selector, we have used clear both. So you remember this clear property? This clear property is to clear the floating behavior of floater div elements. Okay, next we will look at hovering effect of the side menus. Okay, when I hover over the side menus, the items, the selected menu is getting highlighted. So that is styled in CSS in line number 100. Here we have used descendant selector for fetching the hyperlink under side menu div. Okay, and in the side menu, if you see the city side menu, it's in different color. That is because we have associated additional class with this city side menu. So I'm opening the developer tools. See, class active is associated only with the city side menu. That is in HTML code. If you see, this is the code for creating side menu. Only for the city side menu, class active is associated. And in CSS, in line number 116, we have used descendant selector and styled the active class. Okay, so now let's look at media queries for smaller device sizes. So I am in line number 146. So for mobile devices, for smaller devices, we cannot show side menu and content block side by side, which will not be enough, right? So since the screen size is very small, we cannot show both side menu and content block side by side. So for side menu class and content class, we are setting the width to 100%. That is, in mobile devices, we want the side menu to occupy the full width, and then below that we want the content to appear with full width. That is, here if you see, the side menu is occupying the entire width, and then below that we have the content block. So for mobile devices, we are rewriting the CSS styles as such. So this is when maximum width is like up to 768 pixels. Side menu will be occupying the entire width, and after that both side menu and content block will appear side by side. So I am going to increase the width. Okay, let me decrease the width. So now you can see the side menu and content blocks are appearing side by side. When it goes below 768 pixels, now we can see this, the side menu is occupying the entire width and the content block is occupying the entire width. Next, here in line number 155, we have used img class. What is img class? Img class is the selector given for the image. So in line number 140, we have used height of 500 pixels for image. That is for the normal screen. But for smaller devices, 500 pixels height is too much. So in line number 155, we are rewriting that selector and making the height as auto. Okay. We have covered some important key points in this project, but I hope you will be comfortable with other concepts we have learnt in the previous lectures. If you have any questions, do email me. And you can also share your learning experience through email. Your feedback will be very helpful for me. In the next lecture, we will be looking at CSS animations, animation related properties in CSS. Thank you for watching.